What do you think an OnlyFans content creator should do? Say she finds out that a guy's idolizing her, making idols to her, and giving her more money than she knows that he can afford. Say he says, I took out a second mortgage. Do you think that it should be encouraged in the culture of OnlyFans content creators to say, no, that's not okay, pump the brakes? Or do you think it, like this person suggested, and many people agreed with her, which is ignore it, don't think about it. If that's what they want to give, that's their problem.
Here's the other issue, yeah. So in response to that, yes, the OF girls will lie and maybe lead them on. The guys, the subscribers lie too. Like, there are a lot of guys.
Make it right.
I haven't even gotten to my point. So my point was that a guy who might say, like, I've taken out a second mortgage to pay for this, he also might be lying. Are there guys who maybe have bad spending habits on OnlyFans? Sure. But I don't know how you would take that off that mortgage because, like I said, OnlyFans has a spending limit in which I think it's like maybe like 200 per message or something like that at this point, and then like per day they cap it.
That's such a weaselly cop-out.
How is it a weaselly cop-out? I'm saying a lot of men will lie to you and be like, I'm spending all my paychecks on you because they're trying to impress you. Or they'll lie to you.
The issue, okay, I'll actually get to this. The issue for me is that, yes, men might lie, right? The issue is that none of the power or the dynamic that's going on here really matters that much about the men lying. And to be honest, if he's willing to lie about that, that might be a red flag in and of itself about the level of intimacy that he's trying to engage with you that I'm assuming is beyond the lines of what any of these girls want. I'm assuming most of these girls don't want these guys selling their houses to try to like invest more into like having like this like fantasy relationship.
Sure.
That feels far.
I'm just saying if a sub were to tell me like, hey, I'm spending all this money on you, I'm like getting a second job just to pay for this, I wouldn't necessarily take that at face value. Same way I wouldn't take it at face value if a sub told me like, you're the only girl I'm subscribed to. You're the only girl.
Hold on, now stop. I don't care. I don't care what you assume. My question.
Can I ask a question relating to this? Okay, so because as a streamer, I deal with the same issue a lot. Okay, so my question would be, how do you figure out what the responsible way to regulate this is? So for instance, sometimes I'll run into people that donate probably an unhealthy amount to me. Okay, some of those people end up being incredibly wealthy. Personal friends, who I make lifelong friendships with. Shout out to Dan. Other people are literally like related to, I think it was either Qatari or like UAE royalty.
Yeah,
okay.
Like they're rich.
Other people end up looking kind of strange and weird, and I don't know if you can afford this. And I find out actually they live with their parents. Their family is super wealthy. And then other people do email me back, you know, a year later, saying like, can I get a refund on this? Like, I can't afford my rent. I was having like a manic episode when I donated. Right. I was like, okay. Until they've explicitly said that, like, I can't afford this, I've made a huge mistake, I f***ed up, how would I even go about auditing or figuring out what the reality of that is?
Would you give them the money back in that situation?
When people ask me for money back, it depends on what it's for. If it's like somebody that's donated a of money or whatever, and they're asking for it back, generally I will, because it's not worth it. If somebody donated me $5 to talk me and I skip their dono, not only do I not give them the money back, I'll fight the charge.
Well, I'm talking about an analogy you outlined, where it's someone who had a manic episode.
Yeah, then I feel like I'll give them the money back. Okay. Yeah, for sure. However, wait, I'm asking. Hold on, because I want because your thing. Because my question is, how would I figure out which people I should be careful of and which I shouldn't? And in the pursuit of figuring that out, am I not building an even closer parasocial relationship?
That's not what I'm asking.
Sure. So then tell me how to figure that out. Go ahead.
I'm not asking for you to figure it out. What I'm trying
or an OnlyFans creator.
Yeah. I'm not asking for OnlyFans content creators to be like, you got to send me your bills, man. I need to audit your finances to make sure. That's not what I'm asking for at all. Okay. And that would be an increase. What I'm asking for is the broad culture amongst OnlyFans content creators to go, oh, during that manic episode, I'll definitely give you your money back. Or is the culture to ghost him as long as possible to not have to do payback, especially assuming he paid some way. I don't know the payback system super well, so I don't know what extent they would have control over that, right? That's my question. Is the culture of OnlyFans content creators to go, oh, this guy's manic, I'm going to keep yes-manning his mania so he gives me more money. If that's the culture, and I'm extremely concerned that it is amongst a large number of these content creators, that to me is exploitative. That's a problem.
I just don't know how we could gauge their mania, because if they're already like jacking off, they're gonna be acting a little bit out of character. I just don't know like how the
right.
I just don't know how the
I thought this was the average guy. I thought these were normal people.
We're not talking about the average guy.
I said horny. The average guy gets horny.
Right, but you literally said that you can't count them.
I said I don't know how can you gauge the mania of an OF subscriber because they're already acting different, and they may like a guy who's super horny and jacking off may already like check off some list of like symptoms of mania is my point. Like, how would I gauge that?
Erudite had a good line of.
Okay, fine. I'll just let Erudite.
So, like, so I would say the culture should generally be encouraged to not take advantage of people like that. I would agree with that. That's an easy bullet to buy.
Well, hold on. My question is, does that culture exist? And I am extremely unconvinced that it does.
Sure.
Because I was on your guys' side before coming to this. I was like, I don't want
Until you saw a few posts on the subreddit, I understand.
No, not until I saw a couple of posts on the subreddit. Until I
Okay.
started looking through closely at a number of subreddits and a number of posts, looking at OnlyFans pages themselves and collecting this information and going, there doesn't seem to be this culture. Reddit OnlyFans advice is a very large channel. It's a very large group. And it's weird to me. Again, maybe it's just the terminally online Reddit using OnlyFans girls that are particularly antisocial. That's possible. But I'm dubious of that, and that's my concern. My concern isn't to start litigating
and I
now.
understand what you're
It's to
saying.
say we have to be willing
I understand,
to
but
talk
my
about it.
question is that culture born out of the fact that you just can't really verify, so you might as well like push for as much money as possible?
Is that ethical?
Isn't that what we do in every single part of entertainment? When we sell merchandise, when we sell subscriptions, when we sell time to chat with somebody, when we sell any other
I'm
number
probably the
of
worst
memberships.
person to ask because I'm terrible at making money because I definitely don't engage with
Okay,
that. But
but
I'm
that's my
probably
question.
not the normative.
My question
for that,
is
yeah.
there any other part of the entertainment world
Where
where,
there's
a
as many
request is made by the
sanctions?
person selling the thing to try to determine the
mental
financial
state.
stability of the person that they're selling something
That's
to?
not what I'm
no
asking
one's
for.
asking you to
I'm
do
saying
that.
in the
That's
stream,
what you are asking.
in the
for.
streamer world.
Okay.
I let Kyle finish her line of questions. She looks like she's on the roll. Go
Do you
ahead.
think that if a bunch of streamers found out that I was pretty suspicious about the mental well-being of somebody, this person that had been in my chat for a long time started donating like 500, just dropping it, and they started posting let's be honest, really deranged things attached to it all of a
Okay.
sudden.
Shout out to Evil Fossil. Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna say names.
Go ahead.
If people found out that not only was I not willing to not engage, but I started DMing with that person, I started being like, oh man, all that money means so much to me. I really appreciate it. You're such a good friend to me. Do you think that other people in our community would be like, oh, good business, Erudite? Or people would be like, that's not okay in our streamer world?
I think that would probably be not okay, but that's because you're doing something that is considered exceptional as a streamer. For OnlyFans, that is the service
job,
being
yeah.
paid for.
Exactly. So my
Right.
concern about OnlyFans is you have an incentivization and an institutional structure that doesn't protect the consumer at all and does absolutely create systems where incentivized antisocial women can maximally exploit people. That's my concern. There isn't an oversight. There is no way to gauge this, and that means that while it's a really good platform, there has to be ways that you can correct some of these issues.
Yeah, I guess I don't understand what those corrective measures are.
I already
or
said
what-
explicit about GFE experience. If you're going to be texting
Hold on.
good
First
morning,
of all, wait. I don't think you agree with that. Alex said something, I think, accidentally. If let's say that you had a girl who was engaging in these behaviors you consider irresponsible, are you telling me that if she had the explicit disclaimer on the top, that you'd be okay with all those behaviors?
Me and Kyle are arguing from two
Well, no,
different
let her answer
perspectives.
that. I don't know why you.
You mentioned my name. You said Alex.
Yeah, I
said
know,
this.
but I'm just
Okay,
referring
so
to that.
I just
You
sorry, I
answer.
won't
So,
talk.
yeah.
My bad.
when you say behaviors, do you
So
mean
let's say
which behaviors? No.
any of the ones that you said were bad. Let's say the saying I love you, maybe we can meet sometime. If at the very top they listed that this is just a fantasy, all of a sudden you'd be okay with all of the behaviors prior that you weren't okay with?
I'm by no means saying that, but I am saying that I would be way more okay with that. I think that would
It's a
be
step in
great.
the right direction.
Absolutely. I stand all the girls that put disclaimers in there. That's great.
Okay, and you think that a disclaimer is going to meaningfully change the way that a guy engages with a website that's explicitly for buying services from women?
Yes, I think it'll meaningfully change the way that many of these men engage, especially the men that are at highest risk. Yes, I do.
Okay, I completely disagree with that, but okay.
So, question for Far. Okay, so I asked Destiny this question. I want to pose the same one to you. So let's find out in this analogy. Don't say oh, how can I verify? Just assuming the guy's telling the truth. You get an email from a guy. He's your number one OnlyFans dude. He's giving you tens of thousands of dollars. He's like, hey, Farah, I'm actually about to lose my house. I spent all my money on you. I was having a crazy manic episode. I just really need to jerk off. Now, I'm trying to get my life together, but I'm broke. Would you give him his money back?
No.
Of course.
If you already got the
There we go.
content, you're basically saying that the content is inherently a scam. If I sell someone
I will
a car,
give you props for
if-
acknowledging that you don't.
I'm
these
sorry if
dudes-
I sell someone a car while they're in a manic episode and I've already lost the car and I don't get it back.
What did you
Then am I
lose?
exploiting them?
The same video that you showed.
This is the issue here is that you don't
same
think I'm
video you
providing a
showed-
real
show-
service.
the
Or
same
what if I
video that you
spent? What
sent
if
to
I
every other guy.
no? What if I did a 2-hour date experience? What if I did a custom? Now they get to just see me naked for free because they were in a manic episode. I already provided the service.
Fine, let's assume it's something that you sent to everybody.
If I sell the same car to everybody, I still gave them a
No,
car.
because a car is a sunk value, so the dealership loses $16,000.
So just because more people have seen my tits, suddenly it's worth nothing, and then I can give it to
There's
that
no
guy, and he can
inherent
get his money
value
back
to
and
it.
get to see my tits for free
There's no
because he was in a
inherent,
man.
there's
no inherent value
You're
to
not
it.
losing money by sharing a video that you showed with one people with another person.
I've appraised the value of that piece of content. If I give it to them and they already have seen it and jerked off to it, no, they don't get their money back just
Let's
because
say
they were
they
in a
didn't
manic
jerk off to it.
episode.
Let's just say they
Can I ask
cried when
one
they saw
final
it.
They
question
saw it.
before
They bought the content.
before we
Alright,
wrap
so
up?
fuck them, right?
I'm just curious to guys know, do you guys think that the culture of OnlyFans would lean more towards allowing these blurry lines and not just allowing them because it's part of the fantasy, but leaning into them as much as possible, especially deceitfully, to gain money? Do you think the culture's more shifted that way, or do you think culture's more shifted way of like women trying to be like, I just want to be providing these good services. Obviously, I can't audit everything, but my intentions are good, and I want to make sure like people are just broadly benefiting. Which way do you think the culture leans of like broadly the way that content creators engage with the space?
I don't know if that's even an accurate binary to scale it on. Like, I just think, like I said, it's a fantasy experience. I would consider it analogous to a strip club, so like seeking out a prostitute in Nevada. I think, again, you're already seeking out that blurred line in which is like a cyborg experience in which you want instant responses and want all these things.
Sure.
And like I said, same way you wouldn't put that disclaimer, you know, an OnlyFans model is expected to respond quickly. They're expected to kind of like do all these things that give that escapist experience. So.
Sure. Do you think a culture that requires disclaimers for these types of things would also be more likely to cultivate content creators who put like brakes on relationships that they think are like probably becoming detrimental to some degree? Obviously, they have to gauge it, and there's no perfect system. I'm not asking for one. Which do you think is going to create a culture that's more respectful of the consumer? One with a disclaimer or one without?
I guess I just don't see the goal of sex work as necessarily to be respectful to the consumer.
It's just to get as much money from the Sims as possible. You want to take the money from the Sims
It's a job, not a charity.
To answer Erida's question for the first one, I genuinely don't know the answer to the first question you said. But where does the culture lean towards? I understand that you online have seen some really extreme things. Obviously, because
I talk to people.
And I wasn't looking for them. Just
obviously,
to be clear.
sure. Obviously, ostensibly because I'm more to the left or whatever, it's possible that like because the people I talk to are different. I've talked to a number of OnlyFans creators. I think some that we're mutual friends with that say that they actually do explicitly try to push against like the super obsessed fans.
Yes.
But that's because when they become obsessed, it turns into a nightmare because these people turn into
I
stalkers.
agree.
So,
and just to be clear,
yeah,
those women
so,
are ethical based, love them, I have no
well, I don't
problems
even know
with
they're
it.
ethical, but I'm saying that
They're being more
there
ethical
are,
than
there are,
peers.
let me finish my answer, okay? There are a group of people that a lot of OnlyFans creators that do these types of work that are actually pretty careful about those boundaries, but not because they don't even want to exploit the customer, but because it's a danger to themselves if they engage in that sort of like hardcore behavior. So,
I agree.
Yeah,
I
so
agree.
I don't know where the culture lens. I could see it totally going one way or another. There's a bunch of greedy, horrible people, or there's a bunch of people that are careful just because it fucks around.
And so my argument would be, why would you not have a disclaimer? It would just create more protections.
The disclaimers at youronlyfans.com.
All right, I think that's a good.
I appreciate that, Destiny.
All right, bye.
Remember to hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so that my videos show up right in your feed.